you have to come up with kind of a best practice when you go into a client, or let's say Glenn has a client that he needs us to go out and assess with him to see how we can design a system and fit with a fitted approach. Today's environment is a true partnership with both IT, management, as well as the real estate stakeholders. It's no longer, if you know somebody in IT, you can get your system moving and integrated properly, or you have a COO or a chief real estate officer or an operations officer that handles buildings, and you can contract with them. You really have to have both, because we're truly in a connected real estate market. They have less resources to manage their buildings. They have more maintenance staffs and operating staffs wearing multiple hats. And in many cases, they're outsourcing those staffs. And they really only want maintenance on demand when needed. They don't want people just sitting around getting ready to go work on something and waiting for the phone to ring. You can't just have one partnership. And we found out that using a cloud-based structure where we limit our hardware profile with the customer, we leverage wires and switches and communication networks that are already in place, that we obviously are going to reduce failures because we have less points of failure, and we're utilizing deployable resources. By deployable, I mean we deploy some additional items on a system. Let's say we add reader locks, and maybe we need to add wireless access points, or the customer beefs that up. But we're already leveraging so many deployed resources that have come common to the customer. They've already adopted them. They already have systems and staffs in place to help partner and maintain those. So a cloud-driven resource, so that you don't have to set aside separate staffs to add, delete cardholders, and it allows you the flexibility to go to a third-party provider, maintain it yourself, maintain it through another, or maintain it through, let's say, an integrator like myself. You're still leveraging all those deployable resources in place. Cloud-based support is required to provide really a true dynamic fitted approach. It allows the customer not to have to waste time and resource and effort in doing what? In managing whether a card works at a door, whether the credentials are up to date, whether the system's operating, what the speed of the system operating is. It allows them to fit an approach that says, when I need to look at my system, muster a report, or make a decision based on an occurrence or an incident, I can subscribe to that approach, and my expectation is when I need it, it's available. And that's really been the hardest part of enterprise-wide integration in my marketplace for the last 15 to 20 years. Proprietary systems have lent themselves to proprietary results. As Glenn said, the oldest systems on the network are systems out of my industry, and those systems need to be upgraded. They're one of a kind, and they're one-offs. Our compliance is based upon data access, not the hardware profile that's been in place for 10 years. The cost for the true connection is really what real estate operations, IT, and engineering need. They get an expectation that I can get to my system, muster report, do what I need to, get in, get out, under the worst circumstances in the middle of the night or the middle of the day, and get real value impact on what my risks and requirements are.